Hey guys, I just wanted to show you a model I've been working on here the last few days. It is a 1966 Ford Fairlane. I got the kit pretty cheap. It didn't have any glass, so thought it'd be a good candidate for a derby car. But ultimately this car is really becoming more of just an experiment car. I'm trying some different techniques. I've really been trying to build models that look more real. So I'm experimenting with some different rusting agents and techniques to try to make the car look a little more period and kind of look more of its age. So I've tried some different things, and what seems to work the best is this rust antiquing set. I picked it up at Michael's. I think it was around $12 or so. I know you can get it at other hobby stores. And pretty much it's just a two-part solution. You have this solution right here, which is more of a paint and with the metal flake in it. You paint this onto your model or whatever you're building. You let it dry for a few hours, and then you want to put this rusting agent on and let it sit overnight. I use a plastic bag and I kind of tuck my parts in to that overnight. Probably around 12 hours or so does it pretty good. You really actually don't need the bag, but it just helps speed up the process. But when you're done, you end up with some nice looking rust. So this is the floor pan here. I've done some different layers and tried some different things out. My last layer I was a little heavy, just trying to get the flake, and you know, this is just an experimenting, so I'm just trying to see what works and what doesn't work. So you see I got surface rust where I think it should be. The holes, I know you guys probably noticed that. I used the Dremel tool in order to achieve the holes. What I found worked the best was like a stone grinding disc, and you go at it from the back side of the plastic, eat away most of the thickness, and then go with an abrasive sanding wheel from the front edge, and what happens is you get left with some nice looking rust holes. Especially up here is where I was the happiest with it, where I found a good technique that worked. Essentially what it does is it just leaves little holes and still some plastic together, so it looks like metal's actually rusting away. That one just got a little carried away with, and these turned out pretty good as well. The rusting agent seems to work pretty well. Obviously, as I said, you can get a little out of control with it. What I found was as soon as I let it dry for about 2 days after I actually put the solution on, and I found that worked really good. But it had a little bit of a shimmer in the light, so what I found was using some 220 grit sandpaper, just ever so lightly rubbing it over top of the rust, gave it a much more realistic look, because rust really shouldn't be shimmering in the light at all. So that really dulled it down and gave it a pretty good look. It looks a lot better in person than it does probably showing up on the camera, but pretty happy with the way it turned out. Rust is in a lot of the usual locations that you would see if the windows were left open on your car. Also got rust up in the engine bay, shock towers. Hopefully you guys can see that alright. It doesn't get too blurry. And I'm working on the frame down below. This is kind of an in-process thing. As you can see how bright that is right here versus what I have here. That's because this has not been sanded yet, so it still has that little bit of a shine and needs to be dulled down. So that's the floor pan. I got the interior panels here. Got the walls here already rusty, so when I do body work to make it look like a derby car, the inside panels will look rusty as well. And back window area here, it looks pretty good and rusty, as if like the back window was shot out or broken or something over the years, so it made it nice and rusty. Thought that turned out pretty good. Got the trunk here, just some basic surface rust on it. The hood, same thing, just surface rust. Got the rear end, looking pretty rusty. This is still after the first coat, so it's a little shiny, still needs to be dulled down. And another thing that works really good is if you do some dry brushing, just keep your brush dry with some light paint and go over the top of it. It really covers the shine of the rust as well. Wheels and drive shaft. Something that I did that hopefully will pay off is I actually gave the inside of the body a coat of rust. So along the inside fenders, up around the wheel wells, both the front and the back. Hopefully this is showing up pretty good on the video. I know the lighting's not the greatest in here. So I got rust up in here. And then up on the roof, it looks like the headliner fell down a number of years ago, and it had been getting surface rust, and you can see where like the roof was leaking because now there's more rust by the back windows. Pretty happy with the way this turned out. Again, it's one of those details, if you look for it, it looks pretty cool, but if not, then, you know, no harm done. But it's just an experiment car, so seeing what looks good and what doesn't. Pretty happy with the way that turned out. It looks pretty real, if you ask me. And then just got some other miscellaneous parts, bumpers, wheels. Got the engine here, just pretty basic. Haven't built any derby headers for it because I don't really, this isn't going to be as good of a car as what I could build, so I'm just going to leave it as a stock engine, painted it gloss black with some silver and some chrome. So, yep, that's been my project for the last few days. I've done some layering with the rusting agent, and it seems to look pretty cool. So within the next couple weeks here, I'll be getting this model hopefully wrapped up and looking like a derby car, so you'll be seeing some videos of that as well, hopefully. And until the next video, talk to you later, guys.
What will people think when they hear that I'm a genius?